your brakes are as squeaky as my brakes, today we're gonna fix them. First, put your bike on a stand. Second, we're gonna remove the bag brakes. You can use a T-tool, which would be easier than a spanner. You're gonna remove it from the back. Once you remove it, there is another piece in there. Put them both back on so you don't lose them when you remove the wheel. Second, we gonna remove how it's attached on the swing arm. Each bike is different, but there should be a little spring in there and a bolt. Remove both of them, and behind the bolt there should be another spacer. Next, we're gonna remove the main bolt that holds the back wheel. It should be very tight, and mine had a bit of a tight space. But once you remove that, make sure you look for the washers. There are 2 washers in here, and you're gonna get a screwdriver and you're gonna knock it, and the bolt will start coming out on the other side. You should also look on the other side for which washers are where, so you know how to put it back on. You're gonna keep knocking until it all goes out and easy to remove it from the other side. There is a spacer in there, don't forget about this one, it's very important. Then you can remove the whole bolt out. The back wheel should completely come out. You can remove where it's attached on the swing arm, and you can remove the wheel. For my wheel, my back fender, I couldn't remove the wheel, so I just decided to leave it there and remove only the brakes. So it was a little bit of a tight fit. I had to turn around so I can remove the brakes, but if the wheel is off, should come right off really easy. Once you remove them, you gonna check how they look. Are they dirty? There are 2 springs in there. You can remove them, but I'm not gonna remove them. I'm gonna just sand the pads. You're gonna sand the pads while they're on, but you could also remove both the springs so you can sand them nicer and clean under them, but they're a little hard to put back on, so I decided to only sand them from while they're on. You also clean inside the wheel. That is a really good idea, and inside my wheel was quite dirty, so make sure you clean it very well. You could also sand it a little bit, just not too much, just a very little bit to make it a little smooth and clean in there. Once it's clean, make sure the pads are also very smooth and clean. Try to clean under the pads. There was a lot of dirt under my pads. Once they're clean, now it's time to put them back on. For me, I'm gonna try to fit the brakes in there, but if the wheel is off, would be easier to put the brakes back on and put the wheel back on. Now we're gonna try to fit the spacer in there before we put the bolt. This is mostly a 2-person job, and it was quite hard. My neighbor came to watch me for a little bit. She really liked what I was doing, but putting the spacer there and the big long bolt on and holding the wheel up at the same time was not easy, so it took me quite a while. But you're gonna put the long bolt on and try to make sure that the spacer is in the right place and where the chain tightener is in the right place. Oh, my neighbor also came and gave me some fruits. That was quite nice. She's so hard working. Very nice of her. Now make sure all the spacers are in the right place. You're gonna put the bolt right on. My spacer fell off, so I tried to put the long bolt back on first before I put the spacer in there, which was a little bit of a tight fit, but I did it in the end. Once it's back on, try to knock. Make sure that the chain tightener is in the right place. I put the wheel back on. You gonna put the bolt back on. Next, we gonna attach it back to the swing arm. And there should be a little piece of metal in there. And you could, after the bolt, you should put it back on. Next, we gonna put the brakes back on, so you're gonna remove the two pieces and try to attach it in there. There's a piece that goes with a hole inside where it's attached to the wheel, the brakes, if you can see. And then you're gonna screw it back on. You have to look at it before you remove it as well. Once screwed back on, make sure it's tight. Don't leave it all the way till the end. Also, before you remove it, you should check how much tight it is. Also, you can always try it. You're gonna put the bolt back on and make sure it's super tight. Back wheel should be really tight. And you gotta check if the wheel is spinning normal. No problem with it. You gotta attach the other bolt and put the little metal piece in there. Mine had so much dirt in there, and it's completely fixed. The spring's a bit broken. I'll do that in another video, but no squeaking.